Welcome to Real Money with Lisa Chastain. Lisa Chastain is a best-selling author and money coach known for her work in money mindset and financial transformation. Her approach focuses on the truth that money is emotional before it's mathematical, and that lasting financial freedom begins with changing the way we think, feel, and behave with money. On this show, Lisa explores the psychology of wealth, abundance mindset, financial literacy, and the deeper beliefs that shape everything from debt and income to entrepreneurship, side hustles, and building multiple income streams. If you're ready to shift your relationship with money and step into a stronger wealth mindset, you're in the right place. Here's your host, Lisa Chastain. Welcome to Real Money with Lisa Chastain.
There's a line that says men are afraid women will laugh at them. Women are afraid men will kill them. Whether or not that's exact, the data shows that women are most at risk from men we know. Today's conversation is with my dear friend Patti Stewart, owner of Defense and Heels, former Miss Nevada, and she is on a mission to teach women how to become personally safe. And with Defense and Heels, she's doing that every single day. Today, we're going to be talking about ways for you to know in your body how you're safe, how you're not safe, what to do when you're in situations that are not safe, things to look for in personal situations, patterns that perpetuate themselves in situations of domestic violence. And this is for you as a woman today who's on a mission to become the leader of her financial life. Self-defense, personal safety, and money go hand in hand, and you've got to listen to this conversation. Let's get started. Patti, we made it.
We did.
We have been having this conversation, and I know we committed to doing this episode months and months and months ago. And so we're finally here. And today on Real Money, we're having a deep, honest, open conversation about personal safety.
Something we all
Personal safety
need.
For women specifically. Guys, if you're listening, because we do have guys listening, here's my invitation for you guys who are listening. Understand what we are going through. Understand our lens, our context. We are not here to make you wrong as men, and we are here just to share our experience and help other women advocate and be safe and take responsibility. And that is why Patti is on the show today.
This is no men bashing. We don't hate men. This is, unfortunately, the society we live in. Women have to be able to learn how to protect themselves.
We do. And so let's start with this, Patti. We were talking about it before I hit the record button. Let's talk about fuck you money.
I love it. We all need more of it.
Don't we? I had a guy introduce that concept to me before. It came from a movie, I guess. But I've seen this moving around on social media, is that women stay, and then I'm going to let you share your perspective on this. Women stay in situations and partnerships that are not safe for them because of money.
100%, yes.
What do you see in this arena when it comes to protecting women and safety?
Like you said, they stay. If we go off of national statistics, you have to leave 9 to 12 times before they actually leave.
9 to 12 times?
Yeah. And it's generally in a body bag. Not because I'm finally ready to leave. Just like the random national standards. That's not even taking into account the financial aspect of it. Big part of the women staying is I have to be able to afford my bills. I have to provide for my children. That he's going to take me to court and drag this on for years and years and years, and I don't have the money to fight him. Those are the reasons women often stay when they know they need to leave. Once they finally made that click of I need to leave, it's I financially can't leave.
It's crazy. Y'all know how I feel about Dave Ramsey on the show, and this single conversation as it relates to money is what really makes my blood boil. And like, as soon as you were sharing that statistic, I felt the visceral reaction in my body of like, I want to throw up, because there's a paradigm in financial framework, and there are financial experts who tell women and men that they have to commingle their finances, that it's biblical. Yes. And what you're saying specifically is that it's actually not safe for women to do that.
But keep in mind, a lot of those principles came about in the 60s and 70s. Women couldn't have bank accounts in the 60s and 70s until like the late 70s, where women could get their own mortgages and their own bank accounts without their husbands signing off on it.
I know.
The concept of separating our accounts, but that's because that's the way that the world has turned. And unfortunately, there are unsafe people out there. There are situations that women place themselves in, or men place women in, that make it so that they need to be able to have their own money, have their own life, have their exit plan. And saying like, yes, you need an exit plan when you start a marriage. Not at all. You can mingle some stuff, but have your own pot, even if it's your own spending money. I have permission to spend that money. I also don't have to ask permission to spend that money to leave.
Yeah, I don't want to ask anybody permission for anything. My husband, I'm on my second marriage, and he and I both agreed that Lisa wasn't asking permission for anything. And that's liberation. So it's more than just personal freedom, though. What this boils down to and what this conversation is about today is it's about personal safety. And 90% of women who are murdered alive by men are murdered by men that they know. What's that about?
So we grew up in the time where it was stranger danger. Watch out for the strangers. The stranger's going to get you. Statistically speaking, there's less than a 10% chance there's a stranger that's going to do anything to you ever. Always somebody that you intimately know. Brothers, cousins, uncles, fathers. They're the people that are going to do something to you because they have access to you. Strangers, like we were taught, like I would love that concept because that'd be so much easier to protect. That grooming behavior, the slowly beating you down behavior. Those are the things that we really need to watch out for and train ourselves and our children.
Okay, let's take that a step further. I did an episode on Jeffrey Epstein, and of course earlier this year it was all the buzz, all the news, and it still is, but not making headlines the way it was when the files first came out. But for me, watching and listening to the survivor stories and listening from like, how did this happen? That was my question. Like, how did we get here? Every single survivor that I've listened to said that they knew before assault happened, before the crimes happened, that they felt it in their bodies.
Yes.
And I know you're doing training, and so we're going to shift gears here right after the break, but I'd love to hear your perspective on what we can do to listen to ourselves and what it is we're actually listening for. So we're going to take a break and we'll come right back for that.
Hey guys, I'm Patti with Defense and Heels, where we're kicking butt, taking names, and keeping you safe in every situation. In each and every episode, we're going over women's empowerment, self-defense, and mindset training. What would you do in this situation?
Okay, we're back. They felt it in their bodies. They knew it was wrong. I do want you to introduce yourself to the audience. Patti was a pageant queen. Yes, and turned self-defense expert, which is what you're doing now. But why don't women listen to our bodies? What happens?
We're taught as young kids, kiss that uncle. I don't care if he makes you uncomfortable. I hug that person. I don't care that grandpa gives you the heebie-jeebies. Hug him anyways. I said so. Good girls are quiet. Good don't talk back. Just shut up and do what they're told. Told all these things growing up to when our gut's instinct is talking to us as a child. Hey, that uncle makes me feel uncomfortable for a reason. I don't know it because, you're 5, 7, 12. You understand why your body's telling you this. You understand your parents telling you it doesn't matter how you feel, what's going on around you, you will do as you were told. That's how it starts. And then we go a little bit older and boys are mean to you because they like you. Assault and battery, it's boys like you, so they hit you. We're taught it's okay to be hit by men. And then we get a little bit older and boyfriends in high school or middle school are pushing things a little too far. And hey, just deal with it. Put it under the rug. This is a family issue. This is not something that you bring to professionals. This is just something you deal with. So our whole life growing up, we are told that whatever your gut is telling you, listen to it. Turn into adults. Like, yeah, my stomach hurts and feels a little weird right now. This guy's giving me the heebie-jeebies, but that's okay because I was told my whole life that I need to ignore.
So you're saying that we have been conditioned
100%.
to not listen to ourselves and conditioned, and it's not our fault.
To our children, our parents did it to us. Their parents did it to them. Society has conditioned everybody to do to women.
That's sick.
Yes. Not something that's talked about enough. Because very much, well, I don't see why you think that uncle is creepy. It hasn't been light yet what's going on.
Right. And there's some kind of acceptance around it. Oh, he's just the awkward uncle or whatever that is. And for a woman that's listening to this who has been through that situation, or for women who are, you're listening because you want to prevent yourself from being in that situation or your daughters from being in that kind of situation, what is it that we actually need to be listening for? And what is it that we need to be communicating?
So, you need to be listening to that feeling. And it's going to feel different now as an adult than it did as a child because you conditioned yourself. Second, something feels off, sit in that. That's a therapeutic thing, but you're sitting in it because you need to figure out why. The reason you're getting that weird feeling is because your brain is picking up on something your body doesn't understand yet. Just listen to that, figure it out. Simple as this turn. Wait, why does my body not want me to take this turn? And then you find out you get to work 20 minutes late that there was a crash there.
So listening to your intuition.
Always listen to your intuition. When it comes to things like our kids, it's that grooming behavior. Adults don't keep secrets from children. Child to keep a secret. That's kind of awkward. Kids aren't supposed to keep secrets like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, things like the chin. And it can be something as simple as a shoulder touch. Kid kind of gives that little with it into that. Something else is going on.
So watch your children, watch how they react, and also let's separate it out. So for an adult woman, first of all, listen to your intuition.
Yes.
Second, to keep yourself safe. There's those micro moments. First, there's situations where you're not to blame, right? And we live in a world that is crazy about blaming women. What were you wearing? Where were you at? You shouldn't have been there, that kind of thing. So let's take that off the table. And in terms of keeping yourself safe, when you find yourself in a situation, and we're going to talk about like the physical safety piece next, if you are in a situation, but if you find yourself in a situation and you're saying this feels off, what do you do about it?
Do it and leave. And if it's something like you're in a friend group, you can always have a code word. I always had the code word of my stomach hurts. Something feels off and I'm bouncing.
Mine's pineapple.
There we go. See, we all need that word of, hey, I'm ready to go. Something doesn't feel right. I'm afraid to leave because as women, we're also very much like, oh no, I need to stay. I need to help. It'd be rude if I leave. Screw that. At the end of the day, your safety, just your mental safety, is more important than making somebody feel comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's where power and money come into play with this, is that a lot of women culturally have put ourselves in rooms to have access to modeling, entertainment, acting. These are, survivors of Jeffrey Epstein over and over again said that I was promised something. But going back to the beginning of this conversation, if you have your own money and you have your own autonomy and your own freedom financially, let's start there first, because then you don't rely on anyone. You create savvy partnerships, which is something that I'm doing in my business, and I know you do in your business, but we're not relying on anyone to make it happen for us.
Right.
It's the world
on our own. They are just someone that is a tool or a vessel to help us to get there.
You were in the pageant world. Okay, so take us back to younger Patti. We were sharing, my son just enlisted into the Marines last week, which I'm really proud of him. And you said you're an Army wife, former Army wife. What was young Patti's life like, and how did you end up in the business of self-defense?
Well, I definitely fall into all of the statistics, not my motivating factors, though. To the therapy, something that has happened to me as a child, teenager, adult, that kind of thing. And then when I was a military wife, Nevada and all that stuff, I was placed in some situations that were uncomfortable. So, added some more statistics.
What kind of situations? I can only imagine. I've not been in the pageant world. I've heard a lot about it, but what specifically?
In the pageant and in the modeling world, it's definitely utilized in bad ways. Now, there are some great things. I'm still involved in pageants. I love pageants for the confidence building, pretty dresses, and being able to push yourself. There are some people, though, that are not in it for the right reasons, and they use it to manipulate women, to coerce women. Actually, in modeling, they get those young children in there, teenagers, like 12, to change their mind and have them, yes, it's okay to wear a bikini at 12 years old. Oh, it show a little nipple at 12 years old. No, it's not. They are a child. They are a baby. They're so brainwashed in, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be the first rich person in my life. I'm going to run the runway for Vogue. Every little girl's dreams.
Yeah.
Providing that for me, and all I have to do is show you a little nipple. Oh, I'm okay with that. Mom's in the other room. She won't know. Flag right there, too. Mom should not be in the other room. If you have a child in there, and then they're utilizing this, I can do it for you. I can make it happen. You just have to do what I need you to do. That coercion.
Power.
Yeah. They're totally
Power.
twisting that. Was definitely put into some of those situations. And it also gets into things like having a stalker, as an adult.
Yeah.
And power dynamic there too. It definitely changed my mindset, changed my brainwaves.
Yeah.
And developed the business further.
Was that your moment, having a stalker, where you realized you needed to advocate for yourself? Or was there a turning point where you were like, you know what, this is really, really important?
Turning point. I was in a class. I was one of the instructors, the type A aggressive male cop that was teaching the class with me. And he's pushing this information down these women's throats, and they're all survivors. Everyone in this room is a survivor, and is, you're this, and blah, 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 and just yell, and pointing fingers, and just, it was aggressive, and it shut me down. Totally a type A female. And I was like, oh, you're shutting me down. So like, it was one of those, like, once I came to my senses of, hey, dude, I'm a survivor too, but hey, I'm your freaking partner in this class. I'm in charge as well. I'm taking over. But, I had to like get my brain back together for that. Watching these women who were also shut down together once I started teaching. So it was, I can't do that. I don't like that. I'm so quiet. All them going into their shell. And then started taking over the class and teaching. You saw that power come back out. And that confidence, and they were happy and excited to be there. Literally like a fire in their eyes. They can't do something, and then they figure out the move, and because we always break it down so they can understand. It really clicks that they got it, really like a fire or a sparkle in the eye. The eye right there. And that was when I was like, okay, I got to take over. I got to change. I now do and make it bigger and better, because defense to that point was dudes teaching
and shutting down women's nervous systems.
Yes. Exactly, which is not helping. I know I can't learn when our system has been shut down, so everybody else can't either. And my turning point, that was it, and why I needed to create this. I was a survivor and had all those statistics behind me. Also, I was working at a police department back then. Like, did that to me? Well, I essentially the same thing as you. Yeah, that was my turning point there.
Yeah, and you realized you can do it better.
Yes, with love and compassion. Was to change those crime stats. So if I'm not showing you I care, while listening to you when you talk, while utilizing therapeutic techniques, but also, hey, this is how you kick his butt. But of both worlds, it's completely different environment, and it's one where you can actually grow and thrive and build yourself in it, as opposed to full information down someone's throat.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. You found a better way to do it. That's what I'm doing in finance, and that's what you're doing in your industry. So we're going to take a break, and when we get back, come back after the break, because we're going to talk about, I'm 5'1", Patti.
Yes.
I'm 5'1" and 125 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
So we got to talk about how women can actually own our power and protect ourselves, and the ways that we can do that, and what we want to pay attention to in our nervous systems. And we'll be right back. Pause. If you're successful on paper, but still don't feel as powerful as you know you can be with money, the Wealth Within is where we change all of that. Link is in the show notes. Okay. All right, we're back. Patti, I am 5'1" and 125 pounds soaking wet. My husband is literally double my size. He is 6 foot tall, 140 pounds, like literally two of me.
Yes.
And so for me, it's psychological, but it's also physical. My parents gave me a 4-letter name, Lisa, because I was only 4 pounds when I was born. And my whole life I don't see myself this way. And I'm an athletic person, but I have this like little Lisa inside of me that my parents treated me little. My brother treated me like a little girl, right? And I personally, physically, my son, even Connor, who's 18, is like, Mom, you got to have it. I'm like, I don't want a gun, right? So part of me having you here on this episode is selfish, because I need to know what I need to know about personal safety, and I have personally shied away from it. Monetarily, I am free. I have the ability to move freely about my life. I have resources. I have a thriving company, all of those things. So financially, I have figured it out. And there's probably some women listening right now who are in the same boat, where they make great money. Financially, things are moving in the right direction because they're listening to the Real Money podcast. But physically, I will say that this is probably my weakest link, because how am I ever going to protect myself against a 200?
And that's how
it just doesn't make sense in my brain.
That's how most women view it until they take my class. I always say it's easier to take the big guys down than the small guys. I'm dating myself now. Steve Austin and Steve Urkel.
Of course.
I taught a college class the other day and they had no idea who I was talking about. Know the new current references? Because how do you have a comparative to Steve Urkel?
I don't know, David and Goliath?
Yeah.
If we use David and Goliath would be another parallel, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the size difference. So I always say it is easier to fight Steve Austin is to fight Steve Urkel, because
that makes no sense to me.
The bigger they are, the easier it is for them to fall down faster. Pressure points work 10 times easier on them. Things like being able to scratch their back. Is man able to completely put his arm around his back and scratch it, or do you have to help him?
Help him.
So have less movement about them.
Okay.
They are not as flexible. When they go to the ground, it's harder for them to get back up. Whereas Steve Urkel, lerpy and able to wiggle out of everything. Actually easier to fight Steve Austin. A lot of the moves I teach are designed for that because of that psychological aspect of he's too big. Favorite story with this is when my daughter was 9, I was teaching in a safe house. He was like, this isn't going to work. My pimp was double my size. Her husband is for you. She's like, double my height, double my width. There's absolutely no way this move you are doing right now would work. Stay. I brought in my daughter, who was 9 at the time, and her do it to me. Time I was double her weight and double her size. 9, an itty bitty kiddo, did the move and got me off of her when I was fighting that guy suit so that she could really go to town. That right there, lady, that this move works. If a 9-year-old kid could get a grown adult off of them, it's work. Think of it as like a size disparity working in your favor, that he is bigger than you. It's all about technique. So making sure that you're finding a good class that teaches you this kind of stuff. Jiu-jitsu techniques are my favorite. It's because they utilize the big guy versus the small girl in all of their training.
And that's what you teach.
It's one of the many things I teach. It's my favorite. That as my core for a lot of my classes, because it really does work. Everything is statistically proven to work. Not just fluffy little punch here, do this.
Yeah. What would be the difference between having a gun, or my husband makes me carry around, not bear spray, what am I trying? Pepper spray. Bear spray. Pepper spray. A knife. What's the difference between using these tactics? Because truly, honestly, I do not want to carry a gun. I do not think that I need one. I don't like them. My husband has them, which is fine. But are these tactics more effective?
Yes and no. So I absolutely love weapons of all kinds. I have the pepper sprays, the Kubotans, the guns, everything. I love them.
Okay.
They're fun tools. Great if you know how to use them. Mm-hmm. Carrying a gun and you don't know how to shoot it, and you've never trained how to get it out of your purse, it's worthless. Pepper spray, but it's in your hands, ready to go when you see that guy that's giving you the heebie-jeebies come up to you, be effective. Mm-hmm. Having these tools is great. I love them. Totally use them, if you know what you're doing with them. It does make it so that there is lines against you when you have these kinds of tools. You have to know how to use it. So that's
Here's the thing that's that's great. Thank you. And I need to take your class, and we're going to talk about ways women can jump into your classes. It's something that we absolutely positively, I think, should be advocating for ourselves. There's a couple of things going back to the 10% statistic versus the 90% statistic. We are more likely to be harmed and unalived by someone who knows us. Are there different, one, to the statistic that you said, it takes 9 times on average for someone to leave
a domestic violence relationship?
Because violence has been normalized. I just worked with a woman last weekend where her mom and her stepdad simultaneously, she lived in a very abusive household, and she connected love and violence. It was intertwined in her fabric DNA. And it was normalized, but then she grew up and was like, this is not normal. This is not okay. And I don't know how to attract love without violence.
I love that she realized that, though, because most people go back to their baseline normal in her case, be the violence equals love.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, so for, as a listener, like that's something to pay attention to is what did you normalize as a child?
Mm-hmm.
And what is it that you internally have work to do and healing to do? But then also going back to that statistic, 90% of the people that will harm us will be people that we know. And self-defense will get us out of a aggressive situation. But what would you tell someone the first time or second time to say, hey, get out now? How, like, here are the signs, what are the red flags? What are the things that you should be looking for now? It's not okay.
And don't stick around and get those heebie-jeebies, even just in dating. Leave. Also love journaling it out. Like, why is my body feeling like this? And just journaling for like 10 minutes to figure it out. And your brain will tell you if they're in it. You need to watch for the actual signs. Like, when it comes to finances, are they not letting you spend your money? Telling you can't spend money. Are they keeping money from you? When it comes to the violence, it usually starts with something simple like, I don't like that friend, but it's your best friend who you've known for 20 years. You can't hang out with that person anymore. You just told me I can't do something? Like, that's when your attitude should kick in. Not, you're right, I'll stop talking to them. But that's what we do because we're normalizing their behavior. First time you get hit, leave. First time is a test. Not how bad it'll get. How much can she take before she leaves? Time is
wow. If a man, we're just speaking specifically right now in male-female dynamics, so we want to keep the context straight. If a man hits a woman, will he do it again?
Yes.
Okay. And if he does it a second time, will he do it a third?
Yes.
Okay. And so if a man hits you once and then apologizes, I'm sorry, that should have never happened. I'm so sorry. I love you. It'll never happen again. I won't do it again. What you're saying is that first time should be the only time.
Yes. It's like punching walls. If they're willing to punch a wall, they're willing to punch you.
That's right. There was a situation I was in, which I've spoken honestly. So I won't go into the details in this episode with you today, but there was a situation that I was in where I knew I had to get out the morning he woke up, and he beat the bloody shit out of my trash can. And I will say that this conversation has taken a serious turn, but I think it's so important that we interconnect. What we're really talking about here is that the signs are the signs, and how someone treats other people or treats property or treats themselves, eventually they will treat you the same way. Eventually they will. Yeah.
It's a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
And hitting is not your fault. You did nothing to cause it, because that's the other mind fuck that women go through.
Yes,
is it this was me, I did something, I was the cause of his anger or his frustration, and so I have to change. But you don't. It's not you that's the problem, right?
You're not in an MMA class where you're designed to hit people. You're in a relationship that's supposed to be loving, supportive, and caring. You hit things that you love and support and care about.
Yeah. But how do we protect ourselves? So leave. I get that. Know that it's serious the first time. It's serious the first time. It's not okay the first time. But then what are other ways for us to protect ourselves and keep ourselves safe in those situations?
Report it. I know that is not something that we grew up doing, and that is still something that is not socially normal. But we need that paper trail. Maybe it may not be for you. It may be to protect the next person that he has as a victim. Say he, because we're using that male-female dynamic right now. There are bad females as well. We're just using this current dynamic. The paper trail. When you start the paper trail, you get access to a victim's advocate. Has resources galore for you when you are ready to make the paper trail and move forward. Help somebody that doesn't want to be helped. If you're not ready to leave, you're just doing this because we told you to go anywhere. Understand that usually you don't leave the first time. Do 100%. Please do. Please do.
Yeah. Even if you have kids, right? Like, getting out is one of the best ways and forms of self-respect and self-care and self-compassion is choosing not to be with someone in that situation. So there are resources. I was able to utilize those resources here in the community, and they're wonderful people, and they want to help you and support you and keep you safe. Even if it isn't a life-threatening emergency, you can call 311.
Exactly. And you even mentioned get your kids out of there. Willing to hit you. You think he's willing to hit the kids?
Sure.
You're showing the kids what love looks like. You're showing the children that they have to be hit in order to be loved, or it's acceptable. Yeah. And as mama bears, we know it's not okay to touch our kids. Getting hit, so they think it's okay. Out for them. If you won't get out for yourself, Give them deserve to know what real love looks like, and you can be the one to show them that if you get out.
That's right. That's right. Here, let's shift gears here. We know many violent situations are preceded by patterns: controlling, stalking, intimidation. What are the early signs that women ignore?
The early signs are the things like you can't hang out with this person anymore. Tell me exactly where you are and what's going on at all times. You just got to work. You got to work 3 minutes ago. Why didn't you tell me 3 minutes ago?
Mm-hmm.
Your friends, I don't like those friends. Come home right now. You can spend money on drinks. Little things that at first you're like, well, I need to communicate better, until you realize, like, it's been 3 minutes, dude. Like, minutes. Little things. Your intuition, it's going to pop off. Now, you're 100% ignoring it if it's gotten to this point. Now you're going to start paying attention because we've talked about it. You're listening to this whole podcast. Gut instinct, what's going on? You're afraid to take that time to process it too. A support system. Best friend, it can be your mom, it could be a cousin, it could be some random stranger, it could be a therapist, somebody. I like the idea of a therapist because they can talk it out with you, and they're also a mandated reporter. If you're not willing to report it, they will. That, because then you'll still get the help. Not the help you want, but still going to help. The early things to get started with while you're processing the leaving.
It requires vulnerability. Yeah. And for successful women, Patti, you and I are both successful women. And I know when I was going through some situations, it was very vulnerable. And I felt like I would lose credibility. For a lot of reasons, it was really scary to speak my truth 100%. And to share. We are here on this show exactly in this moment to say, please do not become another statistic.
To change that. You've got the financial aspect of it, and I have the personal safety aspect of it. We do not want the crime stats to continue to go up. We want to help be the change and help you not be the statistic.
That's right. A lot of women don't fight back, not because we're weak, but because we freeze. So I'm talking about situations in the moment. Mm-hmm. Women freeze, our nervous system shut down. Exactly what you were describing with the trainer in the class. How do you train someone to override that in the real moment?
So have what's called fight, flight, and freeze. Freeze is, of course, what we're talking about. The worst possible place you can be in, because that's when shit hits the fan. That is when things happen. So I want you to focus on free, or run away, basically, or fight. Now, at any time, always run away. But you also have to train yourself to get in that position, which is your self-defense classes, confidence training, and personal mindset development. It's not something you learn instantly. This is all stuff that you have to build up to because we have conditioned ourselves for so many years. Start with a self-defense class and a therapist or a coach, even business coaches. I've had a lot of personal growth with business coaches. But get those. So build yourself up, not freeze when things happen. And then the self-defense class, to mine, you have to do the repetition. So it takes 100 repetitions before your body starts to remember things. So they call it muscle memory. It's really brain memory. But 100 repetitions before your body remembers what to do. Taking that class, and you took it once 20 years ago in college, and you're like, oh, I'm good. No, that was 20 years ago. How often have you used it since? Probably never once. So you need those constant classes, because then when shit does hit the fan, you no longer freeze. You fight or you flee. And that's exactly what we want.
And that you women, we are so much stronger, so much smarter, so much more capable than the world has led on to. And we are seeing in our generation, Patti, we're about the same age, real time, women standing up, speaking up, owning our power. And what excites me about this conversation specifically is when we couple our personal safety with our financial safety and stability and control and freedom, these statistics change.
Get rid of that 1 in 9 to 1 in 12 and make it.
And so social media will feed off of your fear. We are not here to do that. We are here to feed into you and pour into you how friggin' awesome you are and how capable you are and how smart you are and how beautiful you are. And we all need help and support and the right people around us at all times. Yeah.
Just like it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to be an adult.
It sure does.
Do this alone? I mean, look at how many times you and I have called each other over the last decade. Need each other. We need people, but build the tribe you want. Don't just settle for the one that treats you like crap. Build the ones that make you feel like $1 million. and build that
Yeah,
$1 million system.
I'll go back. There was a time, and this is just a really, really good example of how this works in community. So if I'm in Vegas, Patty's in Vegas, on the podcast, I bring my Vegas people together. She's a powerhouse in Vegas, and we'll talk about here at the end of the show how you can get a hold of Patty, how you can take part of her classes and get to learn more. Most importantly, what I hope you're hearing is that you got to get into the game and the conversation of this. This is actually very motivating for me to say, this is what I'm going to focus on this year. I've got some money stuff figured out. I got some business stuff figured out. Now it's time to really lean into personal safety and bring other women along with me. But one of the situations, and I'm so grateful that you were there for me, and it was just a phone call. Like, we don't talk all the time. We don't talk every day, but you know who your safe people are in the community, right? So my son Range, he was right. His mom had just died. So right out of that, he was almost 12 years old and he was suicidal. And we were going through some things with the hospital and the police, and we did not know our rights as parents. And it was very confusing. And same thing in these kinds of situations with domestic violence and partnership violence and those kinds of things. You may not know all of the answers, but here's the thing. There are people who do have the answer. And I was just like, Patty, I don't know who to talk to about this. I just need some support. And in 30 minutes, you were able to break some things down for me to put Jimmy and I back into a chooser situation and feeling like we had power in the situation versus feeling like we weren't in control of anything. And that's easy to do when you're vulnerable.
Yes, but it's building that tribe, the right people. Don't just call your abuser because you need help. People that you trust and the people that you know are going to lead you in those right directions. We're all connected to something and we all know something.
And if you in this moment don't feel like you have those kinds of people, they're out there. Find them in a self-defense course. Find them in a coaching container. Find them at church. But realize, going back to the very first thing that we said at the beginning of this conversation, is that a lot of what we're dealing with as women have been conditioned experiences. Conditioned to behave a certain way in relationship, conditioned to not talk about certain things, conditioned to not deal with our rage or someone else's rage. And we run patterns in our lives coming back from childhood. So this is a little bit of Lisa's world in neurolinguistic programming, is you have to understand what the patterns are. Financially, in relationship, you can read my book. We start to dial that back and really look at it. In Patty's world, start really advocating for yourself and saying, it's my job to keep myself safe across the board in my life. Personal, physical safety should be a part of that equation, and be around safe people. And you may not know what that looks like or what that feels like in this moment, but we're telling you, I promise you, as two strong, independent women, that it's out there. It's out there. And I hope that this podcast and this conversation opens up something new for you, a new possibility. And Patty and I would love to be able to get you into the right support system network, if it's in Vegas or wherever you are. And in Vegas, there's a hotline. It's called 211. If you need help from the community, you can just call 211 and they will start to troubleshoot for you and figure out where you need to go. Patty, for you, what are some resources that you utilize? And then let's talk about Defense and Heels.
Oddly enough, I love business networking resources where I have made a lot of my friendships, and those are the lifelong friendships. But in business networking, and you don't have to have a business to go to a business networking event. You can just walk in and be like, I'm interested in making friends, and they will all bring you in with love and support, just like they do business people.
Yeah, that's
connected
true.
to everybody, like going to know somebody because of business networking.
That's true.
And if they don't, they know who to call to find that person. So into some business networking. Also do things like mom groups. I love the positive mom groups because, of course, there's always negative Nellies everywhere. Yourself in a mom group, especially if your kids are little, you need that support system. You need those play dates that are in a safe environment where you can relax and breathe for the first time in 3 weeks. Do that. Reach out to victims resources in your area. Just like we have 211, metropolitans have something equivalent. Or in a small town, I've actually seen most small towns have more resources than these big towns that we live in. Google it, call an office. Be like, hey, Social Security, I know this is not it, but I'm trying to find the person that you would know for this. A person on the phone would help you too.
Yeah.
Don't take no for an answer. A lot of people will be like, I don't know, click. Hey, I tried once, I give up. No. For his office, they have lots of resources because they want to connect their clients. Business networking, they know everybody. Moms groups, especially if you get in the bigger ones, for somebody. Start getting into your tribe and your circle that you've built. Help connect you into everything to build your your support system if you
That's
don't
right.
already have a thriving
That's
one.
right.
If you
And
have
then give it away, give it back tenfold. That's how we thrive. So here are my takeaways from today's conversation.
100%.
Any form of violence is a red flag. Any form of aggression is a red flag. You do not have to tolerate or put up with someone who is being aggressive towards you. And realize that as much as we were conditioned about the white van picking us up and offering us candy as children, yeah, as much as that was a threat, the bigger threat are the people around you and the networks that you're in. And if you are not in a safe environment, it is your responsibility to figure out a way to get out, but you do not have to do it alone. Sometimes all it takes is you raising your hand and saying, you know what, I don't got this and I need help, but I want out.
And making that acknowledgement of I want out, ready.
I'm ready. And no one's coming, ladies. No one's coming to save you. There's no white horse. It is your responsibility. We have more resources available, more education available, more personal finance. We have credit cards. Don't let the major financial experts tell you anything other than you got to do whatever you got to do to get out. Even if it doesn't make financial sense, do what you got to do to get out, and you can figure out how to clean it up afterward. But I know for me, credit cards were amazing to have at my fingertips as I was going through my divorce, and in a pinch I had to move because I was in an unsafe situation. So I'm very grateful for the resources I had available to me, and you can have the same resources available to you too.
And use them. Afraid to get into debt because you need to get away. I also did the same thing. And that was how I survived my divorce and all of the craziness after. So don't be afraid. Like, yes, you got to fix it afterwards, but
it's fixable. Yeah. Tell us about Defense and Heels and where can people find you?
Heels is by women, for women training. So it is that hands-on training. We also have the awareness training and the confidence. And we do everything from rolling on the ground in the worst possible scenario, the rape position, all the way up to hair grabs. We also do the less than lethal stuff. So like how to use your pepper spray, how to use your stun device. Mm-hmm. And we also do things like how to use a gun, because we do have women out there who do want to carry a gun, to know how to use it properly. So one of my classes is called My Husband Bought Me a Gun, Now What? So many women have guns and don't know how to use them. Get down. And it's all women. You're in a women's only studio or a building with only women and everything in there. And it's women teaching you. It is a safe, comfortable, vulnerable area where we can ask the hard questions that we would never in a million years ask if a dude was around.
I'm so glad that you're back. You took a hiatus, and we don't need to go into the story of that, but I'm really glad that you're back in this way, that you're serving this mission. I'm so glad that my community and my listeners can hear from you specifically today, Patti. You are a light in our community, and we just keep intersecting. Our lives keep intersecting. And I can feel it in my body that this is my call forward to step in and lean into this particular part of my life. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm 5'1", I'm 125 pounds. My husband is an advocate for me. He wants me to be safe too. So I know he'll be thrilled that I'm taking your classes. But anyway, come and join me at one of Patti's classes. Any last thoughts that you want to leave with the audience today?
Yes. Pay attention to your surroundings. That is my favorite. And it sounds so minuscule because you're like, yeah, duh, I pay attention. No, truly pay attention. 90% of crimes against women can be prevented by paying attention. So not being on your cell phone, keeping your head on a bobble. So as you're getting in the car and as you're going to and from the store, you're paying attention. For your weapon, it's in your hands. That is just a pen. Metal pens are great weapons. You know what's going on around you. You're not oblivious to the world. And most importantly, you're starting to listen to that gut instinct.
So pay attention. Well, thanks for being on this mission. If there's something about what you heard on today's show, leave a comment in the notes. Let us know what you learned. Share this episode out with someone that you love. Jump in a self-defense class with a friend or a sister. It can be fun work to do. It's empowering work to do. Most importantly, take care of your personal financial life. Be the owner and author of your finances, because when finances and personal safety come together, you are unstoppable. And that's what Patti and I want for you and every woman on this planet. Thanks for joining us today, Patti.